Well, the king of hidey-ho is back in Miami, the fabulous Cab Calloway. Cab, nice to have you with us on the show today.
Well, thanks very much. I'm awful happy to be back here in Miami again. It's been, about 4 or 5 months since I was here the last time.
Evidently, it was too long. The people needed you back. That was evident in your opening at the Fontainebleau last night. Packed house, Cab, and it's good to have your music back in town with us. Let's talk about music. What's the luckiest song Cab Calloway's ever had?
Well, I don't know. Speaking about songs, it's luck. I've had a couple that have been with me for quite a long time. And I never do a show anywhere unless I do either one of the two of the songs. That's the St. James Infirmary and this Mitty the Moocher.
You know, one thing I'm curious about as I watched you on stage at the Fontainebleau last night, how many different sets of white tails have you used up in your years in show business?
Oh, I use up about a set a year.
Set a year? And how many years you been at it?
Oh, I've been at it about 28 years.
And I imagine you use as many pairs of white shoes, too,
yes,
don't
I
you?
do.
Still one of the greatest sight acts as well as one of the great vocal acts kicking around. Cab, they're making Porgy and Bess into a motion picture without you. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know. I don't feel any too good about it. Matter of fact, a lot of my friends asked me the same question. I told them that, well, I did have a meeting with Sam Gowen about a year ago when I was out there making the St. Louis Blues, and he told me that I was going to get the role of Sporting Life, but he later gave the role to Sammy Davis Jr., and they started shooting on the picture, and the studio burnt down, so that's it.
Cab, let's go back and refresh people's memories just a moment. The part of Sporting Life and Porgy and Bess was created for you back when?
Well, George Gershwin wrote that part in there for me in 1934. The show hit the boards about 1935. I didn't appear in the original show when it hit Broadway because of the fact that at that time the band business was quite lucrative then, and it was a business that was more or less spreading goodwill all around the world, and I had a contract in Europe at the Palladium Theater, and I toured up on the continent for quite a few months at that particular time, and I couldn't accept the role because I'd already signed the contracts for these European engagements, and John Bubbles did the original role.
Well, then you came to Broadway with the part of Sporting Life when then? In the first revival, was it?
No, not the first revival. It was the second revival, the one that went to Europe just a few years ago.
I saw it at the Ziegfeld in Broadway, and you'll always be Sporting Life to me. It's a sensational part, the way you do it, and it's an absolute shame, I think, that you're not doing the movie. But what do you have lined up? What's next?
Well, I'm going to do Porgy and Bess during the month of August on the Straw Hat Circuit up in New England. I'm going to do it for a month.
We're talking to one of America's greatest showmen, Cab Calloway, with us this afternoon. Cab, what's wrong with present-day music today?
Well, I don't know. I can't say that there's anything wrong about it. It's just a trend that's been accepted and picked up by the teenagers of today, and they have a way of making you like this music. Even if you don't like it, they make you like it. I had 5 kids in my house at one time. I had my 3 kids and Nat King Cole's 2 kids were visiting them, and they had the rock and roll right up to the top, and it was blasting all over the whole house and everything, and it went on all day long and all night, and it was you just got so that you just had to accept it. So, and I really don't see anything too wrong with rock and roll. It's a form of music that become the fad of today, just the same as bebop did a few years ago. And the trend changes, and we often sit back and say that we wish that we didn't have this and we didn't have that, but it leaves a little bit of something when it goes away, the same as bebop did. And I think rock and roll will do the same thing. Of course, we don't know what the next trend will be, whether we'll go back to jazz or whether we'll go back to the ballads again. We really don't know. But I like all types of music, and it doesn't make any difference whether it's rock and roll or bebop or progressive jazz or any kind of music, as long as it's played good and it sounds good.
Mm-hmm. May we ask who your favorites are, vocalists, for instance, male and female?
Well, my male vocalist is Frank Sinatra, and my female vocalist is Ella Fitzgerald.
You got started 28 years ago in this business, you say?
Just about, yes.
Where were you born?
I was born in Rochester, New York.
What was the biggest struggle of your life, your career?
Well, my biggest struggle was to decide whether to continue my studies in school, to continue to do what I started out to do as far as my education was concerned. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I got as far as my second year in college. That's when I started into entertaining in nightclubs and got affiliated with bands.
What was the big break, Cab, that set you on your way?
Well, the big break was at the Cotton Club in New York, and that was in 1929, and that was the break that really got me on my way. That was when Duke Ellington was in the Check and Double Check, and they wanted someone to replace him at the Cotton Club, and they chose my band, and we went in there, and we began to broadcast, and matter of fact, we broadcast all over the country. Shortly after that, I made my first trip down to Miami, and that was in about 1933. And I toured the whole South and toured the whole East and West. As a matter of fact, I toured the whole United States, went back to the Cotton Club, and then came out again, did the same thing, and I guess I've been touring ever since.
Who were some of the great names you were playing with back in those days of the early years of the Cotton Club?
Well, fellas like Chew Berry and Cozy Cole and Jonah Jones and Illinois Jacquette, Pop Smith and Shad Collins and Paul Webster, Milton Hinton, J.C. Hurd.
It sounds like who's who of
yes,
music.
It's quite a lineup. It's quite a. I hope I haven't missed any of the fellows. Hilton Jefferson. It's
I
quite
know
a
you
few.
can't name them
yes,
all.
I can't name them all. Right
When was the
offhand.
first time you did Minnie the Moocher?
First time I did Minnie the Moocher was in 1930.
And that's when you became known as the Heidi Ho Man.
That's right.
Well, Cab, it's been a real pleasure having you with us this afternoon.